Hello, welcome to tutorial 18. Again, the first thing we need to do is, let me just save the new code as tutorial 18. And there we go. So now that reads 18 and I can change this number to 18. So I'm going to jump into some coding straight away while I'm remembering it. So the tree system, before we forget about the trees completely, there's a small job that will make a big difference when your terrain gets really large. So this is our tree system module. So in the initialization function, we can create, what should we call it? Trees, I guess, for like the mega model. This trees equals a new entity, and we should just be able to leave it empty. And then we want a trees counter, and that will start at 0. So this will be parent of trees for optimization. There we go. So what we're going to do, every time we create a tree or plant a tree, we will make this tree's entity its parent, and then we'll be able to combine every tree as we plant it into that entity. So there's just one entity. So even we might have hundreds of trees, just like we've got hundreds of blocks. And as the blocks are all combined into like single subsets, and then they're combined into like megasets, the trees will be all combined into one object. So same idea as making the train, but a lot simpler. So we've set that up now. That's easy. So now when we plant a tree, let's go right to the bottom. So yeah, just to remind ourselves, plant tree, we create the tree entity itself that has a position and no model, and then the crown, like the top of the tree, and then the trunk are created separately. Perhaps you've developed yourself a more complicated and more interesting kind of tree. Maybe you've created a model in Blockbench. Oh, I should do that in a future video or something. Anyway, this will still work. You've just got to make sure the main tree object is parented to the tree's like megaset. So you would do it like this. So I'm going to say tree parent now equals this dot trees. There we go. So it's part of that. Well, it's parented. It's not actually part of it yet. Then what we want to do, oh yeah, is say this trees counter. You want to add 1. So plus equals 1 means this trees counter equals this trees counter plus 1. That's quicker to use the plus equals operator there. And then we can ask the question, every time we've got, let's say, 50 trees, every time, or 32 is a nicer number, isn't it? Like a power of 2. Every time we've planted 32 trees, could you combine the trees in into this trees megaset? So how do you do that in one line? You could use the modulus or modulo operator. So that's if this trees counter, so how many trees have we got, divided by, but I'm going to use the percentage sign. This is the modulo operator. So if this trees counter, think of it as divides into 32 without any remainders. So let's pretend this number is 32. So if we've got 32 trees divided by 32, we'll have no remainders. So this bit, unlike division where you get, well, how many times does it go into that number? With modulus, it's like, how many times does it go in, but what's the remainder? So this number is the remainder. So if it equals 0, that means whatever this number is has gone into that a certain number of times exactly. So if we have 31 trees, it'd be 3 trees, the next tree. 33 divided by 32, we're going to have some remainder, so it won't do the following thing. So anyway, if we've got some kind of multiple of 32, that means then this trees will now say combine. There we go, and that will, if you remember, will automatically destroy all the trees that we've created. So actually, before we do that, or after we do that, let me just have a look at my notes. What works? Oh, I called it mama tree in my original. Oh, the collider. We can do that afterwards. Okay. So where are we? Tutorial 18. Nope. Tree system. So then we could say this trees collider, so the trees are, we can still walk into them, equals this trees, so that's like the mega set, model. There we go. So that model will be made up of all the trees that we've combined into it. There we go. Beautiful. So let's go and see if things are kind of working. Well, actually, we'll still be able to. We've got to wait until we've got 32 trees. So let's actually exit and then just jig our code. We'll say every 4 trees. Let's go and see. This might be the better way to do it, actually, every time you've got 4 trees, because when you're combining, you'll get a little bit of a glitch, a little bit of a lag. Okay, we've definitely got more than 4 trees. So if I stop generating the terrain, press G, so it's a bit smoother. If we walk into a tree, yes, we can't go through it. So I'll just test the others. Brilliant. So it looks like this is working. And oh, I had 76 frames per second. Anyway, this should improve any lag that we're having. Right, and we're in. Hello, Vincent. Good morning. And we're in terrain 100. So, and there's baby flying over there. So, what do we want to do? Last time, yeah, we finally got the colours kind of working. Well, there you go. I've got that one's far too black, and we don't want it that dark just accidentally. If we want it that dark for like some kind of ore or something, fair enough. Also, I think the cave walls, they're just going to be the same shade at the moment. So we want to sort that out. So those guys, yeah, you see the whiter line there, they're all the same shade. So we are changing the shade of the one spawned block when we mine, but not the ones around it. So done the trees. Second thing, oh, can I actually say done? Where is trees? Combine trees for efficiency. We've done 10.1. Excuse me. What we want to do is improve the colors. Oh, and I've got a solution for the tower algorithm as well. So we'll do the colors and then we'll do the tower algorithm. Okay, so in mining, so that's my prepared code. In the mining system, right, here we are. So in mine spawn, so this is where we're digging and then, or mining, and then we're spawning a block underneath the place that we're digging. If there isn't a block there already. So yes, here. So yeah, this random and this shade combination is all wrong. What we want to do is have like a random range from, I don't know. Oh, I do know because I prepared this. Let's just go and have a look in my prepared code. We also want to put it in its own function. Oh yeah, from -16 to 64. Let's try that. So was that random range, wasn't it? Yeah, rand range. So we want to maybe and then I presume add that amount, or am I taking away? Yeah, I'm adding that amount. mining system module. So I want to divide that by 256. So essentially, we're putting this in form. We're converting from the 0 to 255. So that's 256 colors altogether, or brightnesses within that, within red, green, and blue. And because we're dividing that by 256, we're converting it into a normal range between 0 and 1. There we go. So, which will work when we're accessing this like tuple 0, 1, and 2, or this like list or array of. I think it goes in the reverse order. I think this is red, this is green, and this is blue for some reason in this system. So if you were, fiddling around with this to create, I don't know, diamond shades and things like that already, 2 is red, that's green, and that's blue. Okay, there we go. So that's going to get a nice shade for us. And then we're rotating its position. So we also want to then apply this, when we scroll down, to this iteration, this loop that goes around 4 times. When we spawn the cave walls, its color is also just being 0. So we want to change it to a brown, and we want to apply a random shade to it. So we don't want to copy all this code. So let's go and create a function just above mine spawn as part of this class, and we'll call it adjust shade and rotation. And remember, the first parameter in this class function needs to be this, or self if you're doing things more conventionally, and we want to pass in a block, because then we can access the color of that block. Okay, so then we can just go and grab the first bit. Yeah, we'll grab all of that shade stuff, put that in there. I'm so pleased now I can adjust I can take away tabs by doing Shift Tab, and it moves them away altogether. Thank you. I must find the person who told me about that. And then I need to change these E's to underscore block, so it matches my parameter name. There we go. Sorry about my voice. I'm still recovering, convalescing, a bit of a flu. Copy now doesn't exist in this function, so we want to say from the copy module import copy. So the function is called the same as the module itself, which is often the case. And yeah, we do want to use soil this time. Change color to soil. So we go to 2, and then I want to improve the brown later on. Okay, yeah, so it applies like a brown hue, and then it changes the shade or the tint. Tint is making something lighter, shade is darkening it. Not to be confused with, whoops, wrong place. Yeah, Ursina tint doesn't seem to do what I was thinking. I think it's something to do with using HSV instead of RGB, something like that. I don't quite understand. Anyway, this system now works, we know. So now we want to sort out the rotation as well. So add random rotation. We do that to all the axes because our texture is the same on every side of the block. We want to really rotate it around so it doesn't match its neighbors. So we have a bit of textual variety in the terrain. So I'll cut that all out and scroll up. Have I gone too far? Yes. Build tool, adjust shade and rotation. There we go. Add random rotation. Just take off those tabs, and then again we want to change these E's to blocks. Done. And now we've got to remember to call this. So go back down to mine spawn, and then I think once we've given it its position, changed its position here, we can call this adjust shader rotation, and then remember we've got to pass in E, which is our temporary block, our entity. So that will go and get adjusted. And I don't even have to put a comment because I've named this function so well, adjust shader rotation. It's like, we know what that's going to do. So now actually we can take this one line and go to, scroll a little bit down. So now we're in the function, sorry, we're in the loop where we're trying to create the cave walls if we need them. And so instead of saying change color to soil, we'll just pass that in, go to this adjust shader rotation, and we're calling the temporary entity E again, so that's fine. And actually I'll take out that whole comment there. Oh, and actually I want to do that. I don't want to do this here. I want to do it after we've positioned it. That might be a bit safer. If we're rotating things, it's best to position it, then rotate it. Right, let's save that. So go back into my module, main module, so that we can run the code. That imports all the other modules. And we'll see if we've got this. This looks like 104. I almost know the seeds off by heart now. Right. Turn on the terrain generation again, just so I got my little dip down here where we can go and do some digging. Right. Okay, so we've got brown blocks underneath, and we've got brown walls, and we've got different shades. So all of that is working brilliantly. The only thing that's not really working there is a visual thing or an aesthetic thing. The color is kind of more pink and salmon and red than it is brown. So I looked up online how to make a better brown. Can I remember it? Where are we? So we need to go to the mining system. Near the top, excuse me, is where we set all of our block type colors. Here they are. So soil at index 2 is 255 red, 80 green, and 100 blue. So we want to go something more like 101 or 102, 51 green, and then no blue. That should be a nicer brown. So now go back to our main module. We've saved the mining system, run that, and see what we've got. And it kind of should match the main terrain object. Oh, this is a much nicer terrain. Yeah, isn't that nice? Right, so let's pretend that my job is to get these blocks out of the way for the axolotl. Oh, there we go. So that actually looks like soil now. So which is really important that everything kind of like matches. So the world is kind of coming together. It actually looks like, it gives the illusion that we are really mining now. And then, can I go down? Yes. So I'm beginning to think about biomes. So I guess, sorry, there's two things that I'm mixing up in my head. There's when we're going down into different layers, how likely it is to like get some diamonds or something, or coal, or whatever else you want to mine for, or some stone. So some like the variety of minerals. I'm kind of like want to kind of do it randomly to begin with. It's quite exciting. Like almost like no, I won't say what I was going to say. Anyway, there we go. So I'm much happier with that kind of like brown. Oh yeah, what I was thinking is as you get deeper, maybe maybe it's more likely for the color to be kind of like darker. Anyway, I'll let you fiddle around with your own version in your own code. And again, if you're not happy with these textures, you can download different ones or recreate your own. But what we're doing for the surface of the terrain, we are applying a proper texture. So it's got the top is different to the sides. So it's got grass on the top and then the sides. But to make things easier, at least for developing the game mechanics and everything, I'm just applying a simple texture for the mind or the revealed layers, just so that we can have different minerals kind of quickly by just changing the colors like we've done. So we've set up that system now, so we're free to do that. Right, the next thing I was going to do is sort out the tower problem. So at the moment, if I build something, we need to make, okay, the rubies look pretty good, that color. That's kind of cool. Right, so if I walk underneath that, I don't suddenly jump up at the top. But if I do one this low, like that, then I should be able to step up on those. There we go. And my step height should be 3, so I should still be able to get up that one. So it's like you're climbing up there. But I shouldn't be able to get up the next one. I think you can, so there's a little problem. Yeah, there's a little mistake there. So I imagine I'll still be able to do it 2 higher. So I should still, the bug should still exist. Oh no, okay, so it's just 1 higher. And then this is the main bug, and then, we can stop it by building below us. Haha. And then we can kind of build again, build again, build again. We can make our own elevator. So what happens is, when the build height is too big, yes, I'm back. When the build height is too big, then it does stop us going up there, but it then pushes us through the terrain floor unless we move out of the way. So that shouldn't happen. And also what should happen is we should stop here. It should be solid. So how can we do that? I've got one solution. So let's go to, so in the main module, down the bottom, where our generate shell is. So this is where we're looking at how when does the player fall, when does the subject fall, and when can they step up and things like that. And we're referring to, just to remind you, the the dictionary, or the terrain dictionary, that's storing all of the positions of all the built blocks and the terrain blocks. So it's just a dictionary. A dictionary is very, very fast. And we're using locations as the keys, and then the value being stored at these different key positions or locations is the height of a block, excuse me, or whether it's built, or whether it's a gap, or whether there's nothing there. Okay, so last time we used Teratop to say, okay, is there terrain within reach, going from the top to the bottom of the step height. So is there terrain 3 above us or 3 below? If there is, then gravity on is false. The target Y, where we're stepping up or stepping down, is the current terrain that we're looking at over this loop. So we go from 3 high to minus our current position, and then add 2 to it for our player's height. Actually, I shouldn't leave that 2 there, should I? Let's just call that sub height for subject height. Okay, I'll call it subject height. Make my names a bit better. And then we'll just add this at the top. Step height, subject height equals 2. There we go. Wherever I see a 2 kind of appearing, I should add that. Okay, that's the only place where it adds. So that's called a magic number. If you kind of leave a number that's obvious when you're making the code, but then when you look at it weeks later, you're like, or even hours later, you're like, I don't know what that number does or why it's there. So it's better to kind of name it in that way. Right. So the first thing we can I'm just thinking, um, yeah. Then we say if teratop equals none or teratop equals a gap. Um, so as long as the next block above where we're trying to step up is free, so if there's nothing there or there's a gap, then you can carry on. But if that's not happening, so if actually it's a really tall tower, then gravity's never being turned off. So that's why we're being forced through the terrain. So actually, we want to move that from there. And as soon as we see that we're kind of like hitting something, or we can possibly step up, we want to say gravity on is false. There we go. So switch off gravity. So that will happen whether we are able to step up or whether we are, excuse me, are, are trapped and not able to step up onto a tower that's too tall. Sorry. I was just kind of like thinking, we kind of need gravity on when we're like falling down onto stuff. Anyway, we'll see. That'll be another bug in the future to have a look at. The other thing is, we also want to say if we're not in there, so if we've got to here, there, so we haven't broken. So here, when I say broken, sorry. So if we're able to step up, i.e. there is a gap or there's nothing above the place where we're trying to climb to, then the target of our player, where they're going to move, is set here. And then it breaks. That means it breaks out of this loop, which means we'll no longer be here. So if here, then the tower is too tall. So move subject from this position. So in other words, we are at a position where there's a tower that's too tall for us to climb up. So we must be inside the tower. So we want to move the player away. So all we need to say is subject x, let's just say minus equals 0.6, and then we'll do it to z as well. Minus equals 0.6. So we're kind of just adjusting the player's position. Let's go see if that now works. So we'll create ourselves a new tower. Excuse me. Find some nice ground first. How am I doing for time? Oh, about half an hour. And we've actually accomplished a few things this time. Right. G. Okay. So let's make a dark tower of netherite. So that's 4 high, isn't it? Can I get up on there? So I can still get up on there. So I shouldn't be able to do that. Or am I just counting it wrong? Is it just the player's position plus 3, which is going to be 4? So this is 5 high. Yeah, and I can't... Oh, I can get up that. So I can get up 5 high. Almost in the tree. And then 6. Aha! There we go. So it won't let me climb up it, When I try and go in, it kind of shoves me out of the way. You can see that clearly if I just kind of walk like that. There you go. So it's a very crude hack. Lovely. What would be much better is if I'm facing this way, push me back that way slightly. If I'm this way, push me only back this way. If I'm this way, push me back that way. At the moment, it's just pushing you kind of through it sometimes. But anyway, it just means that we've got kind of solid builds. And we can't climb on things that we shouldn't be able to climb on, which I'm pretty pleased about. So I can get up that bit, and now onto that bit. Wonderful. Yeah, I can drop onto things correctly. That's good. So I haven't got the bug of not being able to drop on things, which I'm pleased by. Now, the other bug, I guess, because of the hack that I'm using to just push the player kind of randomly away. I actually need to do some mining to get this out of the way. Does it just glitch us through a wall if we're kind of like in the wrong position, i.e. the wrong side of the wall, so it's moving us in the wrong direction. Oh, I love the soil now. That's something that I want to work out. Let's just take a picture of that. Okay, so anyway, I'll come back to you. Right, let's just see if I get glitched through the wall. Yeah. So you glitch the other side. This side, it's fine. It kind of just pushes you back this way a little bit. So we need like a little bit of an algorithm to say which way to be pushed. Else we're going to get pushed into walls, through walls. Right. Now let's study this. So what was happening is this block. So I mined something here, and there was already a spawned block there. So it's going to, on the dictionary, it will just be the height of it. And then I dug here. There's already something there, so it didn't spawn one beneath it. But then for some reason it failed this check to do that one. So it doesn't spawn one there, obviously, because there's already terrain there. It doesn't spawn terrain here because there's terrain below it. It doesn't spawn terrain here because there's like a gap, or there's, yeah, because we've already dug there. But it's not spawning there. I don't know why. There's nothing below it. There is something above it. I think that's preventing it. So if I mine that one, will something appear below? Yes. So, okay. So let's go and have a look at that. Just before I do, so that was kind of working okay. Just before I do, oh yeah, I was going to look at my prepared stuff. So I've done the trees, done the new colours of the soil, and the shade is a lot better. Yeah, I think that's everything there, and we've done the tower. Well, let's just go and have a look at our list. Let's see what we've done. And maybe I'll make this a shortish video. So the last two were quite long, and I didn't manage to accomplish very much. Prevent build over top of extant blocks, yep. Improve axe animation. Improve build tool UI system, closer to Minecraft. Oh yeah, I really want to do that. Smooth performance when building. Maybe we could just do that. Prevent gaps in terrain. So that's what we're looking at right now. Improve tower step. That's what I was looking for. So we've done that. Okay, so we're no longer, crucially, not being pushed through the terrain, and we're kind of able to climb on things we need to, and can't climb on things that we shouldn't be able to, but we are being pushed through walls. So actually I should add a little thing to that. Was it 3.5? 3.5. We'll call it teleport glitch. How to make towers or builds or tower here just means too tall for me to climb on. Doesn't actually have to be a tower. How to make tower builds solid. Hack just glitches us through walls, etc. at the moment. There we go. So we'll leave that to another day or when I've prepared it so I can just show you how it works. So low-hanging fruit is the smoother performance when building, so that'd be nice to automatically happen. So I think that's in mining, is it? In the mining system, in input, just when we're switching to build mode. So toggle build mode. Also, we want to toggle generating the terrain. Oh, so that will be in here. Let me just pause this for a moment. Okay, so the solution might be in the main module where we're pressing G to turn off generating account generate. Maybe we'll say or key is F. So I'm kind of scared to do this. So that just means F is essentially toggling on and off the wait a minute. If the generation of the terrain, but also build mode. Actually, can I just get hold of build mode somewhere from here? Varch input. So Varch is the mining system. So after we've pressed stuff, we can say, yeah, if key equals G or Varch build mode equals, oh no, this is just toggling, isn't it? Okay, so we'll just do it down here. We'll just say if build mode, if Varch build mode is -1, then generating equals 1. It's got to be the opposite. Sorry. The rest of the video was quite fast, wasn't it? But I've just slowed down. And can generate equals 1. Else, okay, this should work here because this function's only, excuse me, only firing, only being called because of an event driving it, i.e. pressing a key. So when we press an F to turn on and off the build mode, then this should be checked here as well. Yeah, okay, let's just see that. So, and let's just comment what on earth that's for. Smooth building, i.e. switch off terrain generation when in build mode, auto automatically on again if not in build mode. Actually, we don't always want to switch it on, do I don't know, right? I don't. Let's just use this and then see how it works, how well it works, and then if it's not too good, then we won't switch on terrain generation. So terrain is being generated normally, good. But it's a bit too, glitchy, laggy to build anything. So if I press F, now we're in build mode and it's gone very smooth. I'm walking around. It's not triggering any more terrain to be built. So I build some stuff. Lovely. And then I come out of build mode and terrain is being generated. Okay, so it's working as we wanted it to. So again, you see the terrain generating, press F. Terrain pauses while we do some building or some mining. Let's do a bit of this mining. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. And then no longer building. And the terrain is generating again. Okay, so it's worked 2 times over. That's good. What I did want to test is, what about this eventuality? What if I'm in build mode, so it's not generating, and then I turn on generating. So if I press G now, it won't turn on. Now if I go to F, it will turn on. Okay, so that's not bad actually. That doesn't seem to disturb things. I'm just thinking maybe if I just put this first, and actually next to here. So what would happen is, yeah, okay, I'm just thinking, would it now, if I'm in build mode, if I now press G, because of the order of things, would it now switch it back on again? Let's just see. So build mode is as normal. Sorry, terrain generation is as normal, no build mode. Now if we go to build mode, yep, it pauses, come out of build mode, it re-continues, into build mode, it pauses, and now if I press G, no. The logic doesn't bear out. So now I come out of build mode, and it continues, okay. But now can I press G to pause it? Oh no. G. G is now not working. That's obviously because we press G and it says, well, if I'm not in build mode, make sure I'm generating. Then it goes down here, it says generating times -1. Well, actually, it should turn it off then if I'm not in build mode. So I pressed a button. Build mode is -1, so it should be on, and then it should switch it off. Why is that not working? Put your answers in the comments, because I'm not going to be able to solve this. It's not too big a problem, because I'm not going to be able to solve this because I don't have the intelligence. And then press G. Yeah. If I press G now, it's not pausing. But also, I don't care too much because I can press F. So as long as I'm in build mode, the terrain won't generate. Press G here, so F, and it's generating. It's just sometimes I want to walk around without the wireframe and it not generating. So how is that going? How is that happening? So I press the key, so it comes in here. Maybe let's just take this away. No, that's not what I want. I've taken the wrong one out. Now if I press G, yeah, it's still generating. That's terrible. Now if I press F, it's still generating. Now if I press F again, and it's still generating. Yeah, that was the worst change to the code. Control Z, Control Z. It's the other way around. If it's kind of if build mode's 1, then go to -1. Else switch it back on. So I can take that away, save that, run, and start thinking about, yeah, so I might finish this video around 45 minutes, which is around now. Let's press G. Oh, now I can turn the terrain off. That's good. G, and it's back on this horrible, what is this, 106. Seed 106, way too steep. So I've got control of the terrain. What about if I go build mode though? F, switches it off. Oh, I think I solved it. We did it. But we've got, what happens when we come out of build mode? Yeah, out of build mode, it's not generating until we press G. Yeah, that's fine. So that's all the combinations. So now we can go, I can stop it. Yeah. So I'm out of build mode. I can start and stop the terrain. If I'm in build mode, it won't be running. What if I press G here? No, it won't be running. F, and now I just have to start it up again. That's fine. Well, it's kind it's kind of fine. Right. On again. On again if not in build mode. Not automatic. So I'll just leave that there. Okay, right, that's the end of this video. Next time, oh yeah, I want to get the terrain glitch where we should see a terrain wall being spawned. It's not being spawned, and also experimenting with biomes. So I'll do that behind the scenes so I know what's going on. So I'm not just making it up as we go. Okay, thanks very much for watching. See you next time.